Chapter 1. The Awakening. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the golden sands whispered secrets of the past, and the Nile cradled life in its fertile embrace, the city of Bubastis thrived under the watchful gaze of its divine protector, Bastet. She was the revered goddess of home, fertility, and cats, an embodiment of grace and ferocity, often depicted as a lioness or as a woman with the head of a lioness. Her temples were alive with the soft purring of her sacred animals, and her followers lived in harmony, their lives intertwined with her blessings. As the first light of dawn stretched its fingers across the horizon, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, a subtle tremor ran through the temple of Bastet. The high priestess, Merit-Amun, awoke from her slumber, her heart pounding with a sense of urgency she could not explain. She rose from her bed, her linen garments whispering against the cool stone floor as she made her way to the inner sanctum. The air within the sanctum was heavy with the scent of incense and myrrh, and the flickering flames of oil lamps cast dancing shadows upon the walls. At the center of the chamber stood the grand statue of Bastet, her gaze serene yet commanding, her presence an eternal promise of protection. But today, something was different. The air crackled with an unseen energy, and the eyes of the statue seemed to glimmer with a life of their own. Merit-Amun approached the altar with reverence, her hands trembling slightly as she offered fresh milk and honey, the traditional offerings to appease and honor the goddess. As the liquid poured onto the altar, the ground beneath her feet began to rumble, and the purring of 1,000 cats filled the chamber, growing louder until it was a deafening roar. And then, silence. The priestess looked up in awe as the statue of Bastet began to glow with a radiant light. The stone seemed to ripple like water, and before Merit-Amun's disbelieving eyes, the goddess herself stepped forth from her stone effigy. Bastet was awakened, her form both ethereal and powerful, the embodiment of divine majesty. "My children," Bastet's voice resonated through the temple, warm and commanding. "The time has come for my presence to be felt once more. The balance of maat has been disturbed, and I have awakened to restore harmony to the land." Merit-Amun fell to her knees, her voice a mere whisper. "Great Bastet, how may your servants aid you in your quest?" Bastet's eyes softened as she gazed upon her high priestess. "Rise, Merit-Amun. You and your people will play a crucial role in the days to come. For now, go forth and spread the word of my return. Let it be known that the goddess of home and hearth walks among her people once again." As the goddess spoke, her form began to shimmer, and she transformed into a magnificent lioness, her roar echoing the power that surged through the temple and beyond, into the waking city. The people of Bubastis stirred from their sleep, a sense of wonder and anticipation filling the air. The awakening had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of Bastet and her beloved children. The goddess walked the earth once more, and her journey to restore balance would be fraught with challenges and revelations that would shape the destiny of Egypt and its people for generations to come. Chapter 2. The Protector's Gaze. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its golden light upon the city of Bubastis, the people gathered in the streets, their eyes wide with wonder and their hearts filled with reverence. Whispers of Bastet's awakening spread like wildfire, igniting a fervor of devotion among her followers. The air was electric with anticipation, for the goddess had not walked among them since the time of myths and legends. In the temple, Merit-Amun prepared herself for the task at hand. She adorned herself with the sacred symbols of Bastet, her wrists and neck glinting with gold and lapis lazuli. She was the voice of the goddess now, the bridge between the divine and the mortal. With a deep breath, she stepped out into the sunlight, where the people awaited her words. "Children of Bastet," she called out, her voice carrying the strength of her conviction. "Our goddess has returned to us in our time of need. She has felt the tremors of discord, disrupting the balance of maat, and she has come to guide us back to harmony. We must open our hearts and homes to her wisdom, and stand ready to defend the sanctity of our land." The crowd erupted in cheers, their faith unshakable, their spirits lifted by the promise of Bastet's protection. But amidst the celebration, Merit-Amun knew that the path ahead would not be easy. The goddess had spoken of a disturbance in the balance, a threat that loomed over Egypt, though its nature remained shrouded in mystery. As the day waned and the shadows grew long, Bastet, in her lioness form, watched over Bubastis from the heights of her temple. Her gaze pierced through the veils of the physical world, seeking the source of the unrest that had called her from her slumber. She could sense the threads of chaos weaving through the tapestry of fate, a darkness that sought to unravel the order she so fiercely protected. That night, under the silver glow of the moon, Bastet summoned Merit-Amun to the inner sanctum once more. The priestess entered, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and honor, for she knew that the goddess would reveal the nature of the threat they faced. "Bastet, great protector, what is it that endangers our people?" Merit-Amun asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil within her. Bastet's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as she spoke. "A shadow grows in the east, a force that seeks to dominate and corrupt. It is a power that has lain dormant for centuries, but now it stirs, awakened by the greed and ambition of men. If left unchecked, it will consume all that we hold dear." Merit-Amun bowed her head, absorbing the gravity of Bastet's words. "What must we do to prevent this calamity?" "We must act swiftly and with purpose," Bastet replied. "You will gather a group of our most faithful and courageous. Together, you will embark on a journey to confront this darkness. I will guide you, but it is through your actions that the balance will be restored." The priestess nodded, her resolve hardening like the stone walls that surrounded them. "It will be done, my goddess. We will not falter in our duty to you and to Egypt." With the dawn of a new day, Merit-Amun set about her task, selecting those who would stand with her against the encroaching shadow. The protector's gaze was upon them, and with Bastet's blessing, they would face the unknown, their hearts beating as one with the rhythm of the eternal Nile. The journey ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, but the people of Bubastis knew that with Bastet's gaze upon them, they had nothing to fear. For she was the goddess of home and hearth, the fierce lioness who guarded her children with unwavering devotion. And under the protector's gaze, they would find the strength to preserve the balance of Maat and the glory of Egypt. Chapter 3: The Feline Guardians. As the first light of Ra touched the land, casting away the shadows of night, the city of Bubastis awoke to a day unlike any other. The air was charged with a sense of purpose, for the chosen followers of Bastet were to embark on a quest that would test their courage and their faith. Merit-Amun stood at the forefront, her eyes reflecting the determination of a people ready to defend their sacred way of life. Before the journey began, the high priestess led her companions to the heart of the temple, where the statue of Bastet had once stood. Now, it was an open gateway to the divine, a place where the mortal and the celestial converged. They offered prayers and sought the goddess's blessing, their voices rising in a chant that resonated through the stone corridors. As the last echoes of their prayers faded, a remarkable sight befell the assembly. From the shadows emerged a host of cats, their coats as varied as the sands of the desert. These were no ordinary felines. Each one bore the mark of Bastet, a shimmering ankh upon their foreheads, signifying their sacred duty as the goddess's guardians. The cats encircled the group, their eyes gleaming with intelligence and understanding. Merit-Amun knew then that these were the Feline Guardians, sent by Bastet to guide and protect them on their perilous journey. The bond between the goddess and her sacred animals was profound, and their presence was a sign that her watchful eye would always be upon them. With a graceful leap, the largest of the cats, a majestic lioness with eyes like molten gold, approached Merit-Amun. She bowed her head in reverence, and the lioness nuzzled her gently, a silent pledge of allegiance and strength. This was Bastet, the leader of the Feline Guardians, whose name was whispered in legends, a fierce protector in her own right. The people of Bubastis watched in awe, as the procession made its way through the city, the Feline Guardians moving with silent grace among the chosen followers. The bond between the people and the sacred animals was a testament to the power of Bastet, a reminder that they were never alone in their devotion. As they reached the outskirts of the city, the landscape before them shifted from the familiar stone and sand to the untamed wilderness that lay beyond. The Nile whispered its secrets, and the reeds swayed as if to guide their path. The journey would take them through unknown territories, where the shadow that threatened maat lurked in silence, waiting. The Feline Guardians led the way, their senses attuned to the hidden dangers of the world. They moved with purpose, their every step imbued with the divine protection of Bastet. The chosen followers felt a surge of confidence, for they knew that with these celestial guides, their mission held the promise of success. As they ventured further from the safety of Bubastis, the group encountered challenges that tested their resolve. Bandits lay in wait, hoping to prey upon travelers, but the Feline Guardians were swift and fierce. With tooth and claw they defended the followers of Bastet, their prowess in battle a sight to behold. Through arid deserts and lush oases, across treacherous mountains and through whispering valleys, the group pressed on. Each night, under the blanket of stars, they would rest, the Feline Guardians keeping watch, their eyes reflecting the celestial fires above. It was during one such night, as the moon hung heavy in the sky, that Merit-Amun received a vision from Bastet. The goddess's voice was like a gentle breeze, yet it carried the weight of destiny. Merit-Amun, my faithful servant, you must seek the oracle of the Whispering Dunes. There, you will find the knowledge you need to confront the darkness. Trust in Bastet and her kin, for they are more than guardians, they are the embodiment of my spirit. With the break of dawn, the group set forth with renewed vigor, the words of Bastet etched into their hearts. The Feline Guardians seemed to understand the urgency of their quest, their strides purposeful and sure. The journey ahead was fraught with peril, but the chosen followers of Bastet were undeterred. With the Feline Guardians by their side, they would traverse the land, seeking the oracle and the wisdom it held. For in the unity of purpose and the strength of their bond, they would find the power to confront the encroaching shadow, and preserve the light of Maat for Egypt and all her children. In the golden embrace of the rising sun, the chosen followers of Bastet, led by the valiant Merit-Amun and the noble Feline Guardians, reached the Whispering Dunes. Here, the oracle, ancient as the sands themselves, awaited their arrival, its voice a melody woven into the wind. Children of Bastet, the oracle intoned, the darkness you seek to vanquish is a malice born of forgotten magic, a serpent that slithers through the heart of man. To defeat it, you must unite the fragments of the scarab amulet, scattered across the realms of gods and mortals. With the oracle's wisdom to guide them, the band journeyed through realms unseen, their resolve unyielding. In the realm of the gods, they faced trials that tested their spirit, and in the world of mortals, they overcame the greed and fear that fed the serpent's power. Each fragment secured bound their hearts closer to Bastet's divine will. As the final piece of the amulet was set in place, a radiant light pierced the darkness, and the serpent's venomous hold on the land was broken. The balance of Maat was restored, harmony blossoming like a lotus in the Nile. The people of Egypt rejoiced, their songs of praise echoing to the heavens. Bastet, in her infinite grace, smiled upon her children, her essence entwined with the land she so fiercely protected. And as the Feline Guardians took their place among the stars, their legacy immortalized in the night sky, the dawn of harmony promised an era of peace and prosperity. Thus, the story of Bastet and her faithful followers was etched into the annals of time, a tale of courage, unity, and the enduring power of the divine feminine. The goddess of home, fertility, and cats had triumphed, her love an eternal bastion against the shadows. And in the heart of every purr, and every gentle breeze, her spirit danced, forever a part of the world she so dearly cherished.